If you're a freelancer, a consultant, or really anyone who's self-employed in the UAE, this is for you. You've probably asked yourself, does that actually apply to me? Well, we're about to get into it, and you might be surprised by the answer.
You know, this right here? This is probably the biggest myth out there. So many of us think that because we're not a big registered company, we're off the hook for VAT. But that's not how the tax authorities see it. Not at all. So to figure all this out, the very first step is to ask yourself one simple question, and it has nothing to do with whether you have a trade license or a fancy office. It's all about what you do. Are you technically in business? Let's see what that actually means.
Okay, the official wording here is super important. Look at those keywords: regularly, independently, and ongoing. This isn't about some one-off favor you did for a friend. We're talking about a consistent activity where you're providing a service or a product and getting paid for it.
Here's a perfect way to think about it. If you bake a cake for a charity bake sale just once, that's not a business. But what if you're a personal trainer with clients every single week? See the difference? That's a regular, ongoing business. It's all about that consistent pattern.
And this is the real kicker. The term taxable person doesn't just mean a company. The law makes it crystal clear that an individual, what they call a natural person, can be considered a taxable person. So if you're doing that business activity we just talked about, these rules could apply directly to you.
Let's make this even more real. I mean, think about it. Are you a freelance consultant? A photographer doing regular gigs? Maybe you're a handyman, or even a non-employee on a company board getting paid fees. All of these things count as a business activity. If any of this sounds like you really need to listen to what's coming next.
All right. So let's say you figured out, yep, I'm conducting a business activity. The next piece of the puzzle is all about the money. There are these specific financial triggers, and there's one number in particular that you have got to know.
This is the big one, isn't it? At what point do you have to stop just thinking about this and actually do something? Well, the government has drawn a very clear line in the sand.
And there it is, 375,000 dirhams. If you are self-employed, this is the number. You have to burn it into your brain. It's the magic number that triggers mandatory registration.
Now, what's really important is how this number works, because it looks both backward and forward. You have to register if your revenue over the past 12 months went over that 375,000 dirham mark. But, and this is a big but, you also have to register if you, say, sign a huge contract and you expect to cross that line in the next 30 days.
But wait, there's actually another number to keep in mind. This one is for voluntary registration. It's exactly half of the mandatory threshold, and it gives you the choice to get into the VAT system early if it's a good move for you.
So you're probably thinking, why on earth would I volunteer for this? Well, it's pretty simple. It could actually save you money. As soon as you're registered, you can start claiming back the VAT you pay on your business expenses. We're talking software, that new laptop, professional fees, all that stuff. We'll get more into that in just a bit.
Okay, so let's imagine you've hit the thresholds. You've done the paperwork, and now you're officially VAT registered. What now? Well, a few things change. You're now a part of the tax system, and that comes with a new list of responsibilities.
Your new to-do list basically has 4 main things. First off, you have to start adding 5% VAT on top of your bills. Second, your invoices have to be formatted in a special way to be considered a tax invoice. Third, you'll need to file regular VAT returns with the tax authority. And last but not least, keeping clean, organized records of your income and expenses becomes absolutely non-negotiable.
And whatever you do, do not forget the deadlines. You get 28 days after your tax period ends, which is usually every 3 months, to get your return filed and paid. Seriously, staying on top of this is so important if you want to avoid any penalties.
All right, let's get back to that good news we talked about, claiming back VAT. The official term for this is recovering your input tax. Basically, it means the VAT that you paid on your business costs can be subtracted from the VAT you collected from your clients.
So what can you actually claim back? Well, the rules are pretty logical. It has to be a legit business expense, you need to have a proper tax invoice for it, and it has to be connected to the service you're selling. So think about things like your work computer, software subscriptions, maybe even your desk at a co-working space.
Now, it's just as important to know what you can't claim. The tax folks are very clear on this. Any personal spending is obviously out. Taking a client out for a nice lunch, nope, that's entertainment, and it's generally not something you can claim. And the VAT on that car you also use on the weekends, that's out too. That line between business and personal is everything.
Okay, wow, we have covered a lot of ground here. We've gone all the way from am I even a business to what you have to do after you've registered. So let's wrap this all up and put it into a really simple final checklist for you.
So, if you remember anything from all this, let it be these 4 things. 1. Individuals can be taxable persons, not just companies. 2. It's all about your activity, not whether you have a company license. 3. You have to track your income against that 375,000 dirham number. And 4. Once you register, it's a new game with new responsibilities.
And that brings us to our final thought, which is really more of a question for you. This is your call to action. I want you to seriously think about it. Have you looked at your total income from the last 12 months? Do you know where you stand against that threshold? Because knowing your numbers is the first and most important step to being compliant.